Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up because the NFL rumor mill is buzzing with some serious whispers about a potential blockbuster move that could shake up the AFC North. We're talking about Derrick Henry, the all-pro running back, possibly making his way from the Baltimore Ravens to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, you heard that right. This isn't just some idle speculation. It's coming from some of the top insiders, and it's got everyone talking. Imagine Derrick Henry in black and gold, pounding the rock behind our offensive line. It could be exactly what the Steelers need to push through the playoffs and make another deep Super Bowl run. But of course, nothing is ever that simple in the NFL, and there are a lot of moving parts here. So, let's break down what we know so far. The Ravens, currently sitting at a 3-5 record in 2025, are reportedly shopping Henry, and the reason is pretty straightforward. Baltimore is trying to clear cap space, especially with Lamar Jackson's hefty $50 million cap hit looming this season. Plus, their offensive line has been inconsistent at best, giving up an average of 3-1 sacks per game, which isn't ideal when you're trying to keep your quarterback upright and your offense humming. The Ravens are reportedly negotiating a deal that would send Derrick Henry to the Steelers for a 4th-round pick in 2026. That's a pretty shrewd move if it pans out, especially considering the Steelers' current needs and the potential upside of adding a running back of Henry's caliber. Now, let's consider why the Steelers might want to pull the trigger. First, our run game has been solid but could definitely use a boost. Najee Harris has shown flashes, averaging around 3.8 yards per carry and tallying 612 rushing yards. But adding a player like Henry could elevate that to another level. If we bring in Henry, projections suggest we could see over 100 rushing yards this season, which would put our ground attack among the league's best. Plus, Henry's presence would open up even more opportunities in the play-action game, easing some of the pressure on our quarterback and allowing those long, sustained drives that keep our defense fresh. Think about it, long drives averaging over 5.5 minutes, wearing down opponents and keeping our defense rested. That's classic Steelers football, and Henry's physical style perfectly complements what we're trying to build. Of course, there's a lot of skepticism around this move. Critics point out that the Ravens might be hesitant to trade away a player of Henry's caliber, especially since they're also trying to rebuild or retool. They're also trying to manage their cap, which is tight with Jackson's extension looming and other players needing new contracts. The trade window closes on November 4th, so there's not much time for this to happen, but the pressure is on for both sides to make a decision quickly. While some analysts think it's a risk to let go of Henry, who, despite some injury concerns, still dominates when healthy, with 820 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns in 2025. Others see this as a smart move for the Steelers, especially if they want to contend now. And let's not forget, Henry's career stats are nothing short of impressive. Over 200 rushing yards and 98 touchdowns, with a career average of 4.8 yards per carry. Even with a knee injury that limited him to about 85% of snaps in Week 2, Henry still proved he's a force of nature. His ability to churn out yards between the tackles, averaging about 6 yards contact per run, makes him a one-man wrecking crew. His yards after contact, at around 4.1 yards per attempt, combined with forcing 45 missed tackles, shows just how tough and physical he is. That kind of power would turn our backfield into a nightmare for defenses, especially in cold-weather games where Henry's bruising style thrives. The Ravens, meanwhile, are trying to free up cap space for extensions, notably for their quarterback Lamar Jackson, whose $50 million cap hit makes him one of the highest-paid players in the league. But their struggles on the offensive line are obvious. Allowing over 3 sacks per game, they're in a bit of a rebuild mode, especially in the run game, where they're averaging only 180 yards per contest. That's a significant decline compared to previous seasons, and it's reflective of their struggles to establish a consistent rushing attack. The trade of Chubb to the Browns last season, which resulted in a loss of about 150 rushing yards per game for Cleveland, is a clear example of how impactful a top-tier running back can be in the AFC North. For the Steelers, this potential trade couldn't come at a better time. Our offense has been decent but not quite elite, and the addition of Derrick Henry could push us over the top. With Harris's 3.8 yards per carry and 612 yards rushing so far, a boost of Henry's caliber could mean more explosive plays, more long drives, and a more balanced attack that keeps defenses honest. Not to mention, Henry's presence would help ease the pressure on our quarterback, especially in third-and short situations or goal line scenarios. His ability to gain consistent yards after contact and break tackles would transform our offensive approach, making us more unpredictable and dangerous. Looking at the bigger picture, a trade for Henry would significantly impact our Super Bowl odds. Currently, the Steelers have +8.0 odds, but if we land Henry, those could drop to around +3,800. That's a huge leap in confidence from the betting markets, and it reflects how much of a difference a player of Henry's caliber can make. Plus, in the playoffs, Henry has proven to be a clutch performer, with +0.5 EPA in goal line situations and an 18% higher win rate in cold weather games, facing rivals like the Kansas City Chiefs. His presence on the field would be a game changer, especially in high-pressure situations where tough yards matter most. Some analysts believe that Henry could be the final piece to crown the Steelers as a dynasty in the making. His physicality, combined with our already talented defense and improving offensive line, could set us up for multiple titles. On the other hand, Ravens fans and some skeptics are wary, questioning whether Baltimore will really part ways with a player who still has plenty left in the tank. They see this as a temporary rebuild, and trading away Henry might be seen as a sign of surrender, even if it's a strategic move to clear cap space. Either way, this rivalry just got more intense, and the AFC North is shaping up to be one of the most exciting divisions in recent memory. Now, let's talk a little more about what Henry brings to the table beyond just raw stats. His ability to gain yards between the tackles, especially with his 6 yards contact per run, makes him an unstoppable force in tight spaces. That kind of power is rare in today's NFL, where speed and agility often take precedence, but Henry's style stands out. It forces defenses to stay honest, which opens up opportunities for our passing game and play-action passes. It also gives us a reliable option in clutch moments. Think about those long, draining drives that keep our defense off the field and fresh for when it really counts. And speaking of defense, Pittsburgh has been improving, but we still need to keep our energy high and avoid those costly mistakes. A dominant run game with Henry would allow our defense to pin their ears back and go after the quarterback more aggressively, knowing the other team isn't just sitting back and running the clock. That's a recipe for creating turnovers and getting after the opposing QB, which is crucial if we want to make a real playoff push. Looking ahead, if this trade happens, it will also send a message to the rest of the league that the Steelers are serious about contending. We've been building steadily, drafting well, and developing young talent, but adding a proven, game-changing back like Henry could be the final piece in our championship puzzle. It's a move that aligns perfectly with our history of valuing tough, physical football and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Fans everywhere are excited about the possibility, and it's easy to see why. In conclusion, while there are still questions and hurdles to clear, the potential of Derrick Henry joining the Steelers is a storyline that could define the second half of this season and beyond. If the deal goes through, our offense gets a serious upgrade, our Super Bowl odds improve dramatically, and the AFC North rivalry heats up even more. It's the kind of move that could elevate our team from good to great, and for Steelers fans, that's exactly what we've been waiting for. We've seen glimpses of greatness, and now with Henry possibly donning the black and gold, the path to another Super Bowl might just become a little clearer. We're all hoping that this rumor turns into reality, and when it does, you can bet we'll be right here, breaking it down and celebrating what could be the start of something special. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you think Derrick Henry could be the final piece we need to make a real Super Bowl run? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers organization. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and whatever happens, you can count on us to keep you in the loop. Let's go Steelers.